How's it going, everybody? Cable Guy Ken coming to you today. Got a chilly out, about 36, 37 degrees or something like that last time I checked. Wanted to show you a couple of things today. Of course, I got my Pathfinder Spear in from Blind Horse Knives. I'll be doing a little review on that in a few minutes for you. First thing I wanted to show you, a little digging tool I got from Tractor Supply Company a while back. Paid 12 bucks for it. And I used it when I was doing cable work. I used that flat spade for digging quick little trenches to bury lines, you know, if I didn't have to go 4 or 5 feet. I got looking at it and I said, you know, this would be a great little common man's tool to give you a little axe, a little hatchet head, and a good little digging tool, or you could use it for digging out your bowls and stuff. Just something I thought about. It comes with a, you know, a rounded off edge when you get it, but just a couple of minutes with a good file and you can get a good sharp edge on it. It is carbon steel and it doesn't weigh a whole lot. Of course, you'd have to make some kind of little cover for it to, you know, put it in your pack, but an elastic band and a couple of pieces of leather or a couple of pieces of denim would make a little cover that you could slip over it real quick. Just figured that'd be something I'd show you. You know, make a good little tool. I said you can dig with it, obviously, and then got a little head on it here, probably about 2 inches, about 1 3/4 inches. So it's not going to be a huge hatchet head, but you can still get in there with it. And if you wanted to do some chopping, let me get my camera angle down here so you can see where I'm at. Make sure I'm going to be in frame here. But if you needed to do some chopping with it, you could. And then with that other edge, you can come in and strip bark, do whatever you needed to do, and of course you can use it for your digging tool as well. I said it's nothing special, just something I figured I'd mention. I got a lot of free time for thinking. Get my camera back up here. Got a lot of free time for thinking on my hands, and I'm always, you know, y'all know me as the common man. I think that'd be a pretty good little common man item for 10, 12 bucks. Of course, it's a hickory handle, easy enough to replace in the field. Even just using the tool, you wouldn't have much trouble making a new handle for it, just like you know, an average hawk. This one's a little bit loose, but it's not so bad that you can't use it. So I figured that'd be a pretty good little deal. Like I said, you could use that kind of like an adze if you had to, for scooping out your bowls and stuff. Figured I'd share that one with you. But the meat and potatoes of this, everybody wants to see the spear. Now I got mine just around my neck right now. I do plan on mounting it to my Pathfinder, and I was going to show you the rivet holes on the bottom of this are just a little bit bigger than the rivet holes on the Pathfinder sheath, but I was actually going to mount mine to the back. I was going to lash it here and then run the cordage around it through these eyelets and lash it to the sheath itself. That way it'll be a little bit easier to get in and out than having it back here in the back of the pouch. Now it will fit there. It will fit in the back of your Pathfinder sheath, right in that little pouch right there. You have to work it in there a little bit, but it goes in. It's out of the way. It rides right there where your belt is. It's not cumbersome to wear it like that at all. Make sure y'all are seeing that. But this way, I've got it in a little sheath on its own, mounted to the back of it. And the way it fits in this sheath, you don't have to worry about it sliding out. I mean, it ain't going nowhere when you're walking with it and everything. know a lot of you were interested in the size of it because it's kind of hard to tell, you know, in pictures and such. We're looking at almost 5 3/4 of an inch total length on that, and at its widest point it's 1.5 inches with, my hands is shaking because it's chilly out here, y'all, about a 2 3/4 inch long total blade area. I know, you know, you're looking at, there's not much handle there if you're just using it like this, but you can see even in my big fat hands, if I needed to use this to do any kind of cutting or anything real quick, you know, if I needed to shave off any kind of wood chips, I can put my finger on that flat right there and still get under there and use this quite easily without worrying about cutting myself too much. Make your little curls, or even if you're just wanting to use it to do a little bit of quick cutting down or whittling down on something. It's not going to be super comfortable because you've got these bulges on each side where it's made to make it easier for lashing. But you know, we're not talking about using this every day for that purpose. We're talking about in an emergency situation. Definitely be doable. The little hole that they've got here for your lashing gives you a little bit of grip between your fingers. Your fingers kind of sink down into it, which makes it easy if you wanted to get in there and do some skinning, anything like that. It gives you a little bit more grip. I said it's not that hard to hold on to. Get there, get little tiny little, I don't know if the camera's catching them as they fly off, but that's paper thin pieces of wood just by gripping it like that. And like I said, I'm not worried about cutting myself. The blade's kind of close to your skin, but I'm not really worried about it. Of course, it is 01 tool steel and a Scandinavian grind, or a single bevel on each side. It is double-edged. Now, Blind Horse did offer this on their website. If you look down at the bottom of the page where you order this, if you let them know when you order it, they'll do it with a false edge on the back, so there's no double edge. You'll do a single edge is what I'm trying to say here. I know some states like California, you're limited, you can't have a double-edged knife. They will do it in a single edge, you just have to let them know. It's a good little tool. I'd hoped to have a piece of bamboo out here so I can make a spear for you real quick. Y'all seen Dave do it. It's not a whole lot of work involved. I even see this as being a good little push dagger. You know, the way it fits in your hand, it's a good little push dagger if you had to use it for defense. But definitely a quality piece of equipment for the money. Multi-uses. Definitely well worth it. And somebody was saying how thick it was. They thought it needed to be thicker. Just a comparison. We know the Pathfinder knife is 3/16 of an inch, and they're not quite the same. This one's just a shy bit over 1/8 of an inch, so it's not quite 3/16 of an inch, but now it is thick. I'd say it's between 1/8 and 3/16, but it's not so thick to make it unpenetrable, I guess is the word we'll use today. Definitely don't have a problem with the thickness and the weight of it. It's, you know, it's not that bad. Somebody said it's a throwing knife, but I'm not gonna throw it. It's you know, I guess in a situation where you absolutely had to as a last ditch, sure, but I'd feel better making a spear point out of it, which is what it's made for, and using it that way. I'll make a video here today or tomorrow, depending on the weather. We're supposed to get sleet and snow again tonight, but I'll do a video making a quick spear and showing another way of doing it. When I do a spear, I'll put this on the end of it, but I'll lash the cord to the spear itself and leave it just tight in the end of the wood. That way when I stab something, the spear itself, the handle comes off, and this is left in the prey, and I'm holding on to the tether to the end of it. That way I've got, you know, a hold on my tool. The other reason for that is if you stab something small, a small pig or something like that, if it goes in and gets lodged, you're holding on to that tether. You can rip it back out, hold on to your animal, that kind of thing. Keep you from losing your spear point, especially if you're, gigging fish or something like that. If you're gigging down in the water and your lashings loose up and you don't notice it, your spear goes into the water and you lose it. But if you tie a lash onto this and put your 10-12 foot long piece of cord onto it that you can hold on to, if the spearhead does come off, you've still got the spearhead in your hand. So just one of the ideas that I have about spears as far as using a knife blade or anything like that, a way that you don't have to worry about losing it. The sheath that it comes with, of course y'all saw Dave's video. His is a tooled leather sheath. This is just a standard leather. It does have a welting, so you don't have to worry about the edge cutting into it. It sits deep down in there, and like I said, it is good friction fit. The sheath is just a little bit thinner than the blade, so it forms to the sheath pretty good. Make sure it's not going to come out. Of course, bare leather on the back of it, 4 rivets to ensure that the sheath isn't going to fall apart on you and the blade's not going to poke through. But at the same time, those rivets afford you a lashing point. Like I said, you can lash that right onto the back of your Pathfinder if you have one. Lash it right onto it. It ain't going anywhere. It doesn't really take up that much room as far as the knife riding on your hip, because your belt's way up here. The belt's out of the way, and the way the contours of the sheath go, when you line these holes up, the top of that's right there, so you can still reach down and grab it. Even with it on your hip, you could reach down and pull this and get it out if you needed to without too much trouble. Putting it down inside of the blade here, in the back of the blade in this little pouch, is great if you don't want to carry the sheath with you, but then you have to take your knife off to to get it out. Of course, that's going to make you take your time, and you're going to slow down, which is a good thing in a survival situation. But if you needed to get to it in a hurry, this is your best bet this way. So, and that's just my my thoughts on it. Like I said, it's not going to make it too cumbersome for me. It's not going to get in the way of anything. And where the lashing points line up, everything is below, like the fire steel and stuff. So I don't have to worry about it getting in the way of anything else. Even my little tinder pouch, it's going to sit right there on it. So that's it for right now, y'all. Just figured while I had a few minutes of sunshine, and of course the sun's gone out while I was filming, but figured I'd show you that and let you know what's coming up. Do want to do some more videos for you soon. I did have a job interview, so that's going to, if I get the job, of course, it's going to slow me down a little bit, but ain't too bad. The baby's coming along just fine. Everything's still going good with the wife. She's still healthy, and all in all, I'm still holding in there. I guess, no worse for the wear, I guess. But Cable Guy Ken here. Look forward to all your comments. Look forward to doing some new things with you here in the very near future, and I appreciate everybody's support. Catch you in the next one.